Make dungeons great again. See what I did there? Let me explain. Look, here's the problem. I love Dungeons and Dragons. In fact, I've been playing since I was in college. That was like 2014. But the thing is, I don't know, grew outside of the role play bubble. What I mean specifically is that for the past decade or so, the Dungeons and Dragons lifetime, it feels as though there's been a huge focus on role play. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about I don't know, that kind of role play. I'm talking about role play. That was a bad motion. Okay. I don't know when it happened, but it feels as though the majority thought in these TTRPG spaces, and specifically in Dungeons and Dragons, views this game as performance. This game is being used more as a performance tool, which is awesome because we get some really good shows about it. But in my home games, I do like to smash a little bit. And because of the focus on Dungeons and Dragons as a performance, I feel like we're missing a key aspect of the game. The dungeon. One of the reasons why I think dungeons are really important is because it tells us about the war and the lore of your world. We have to remember that Dungeons and Dragons is a war game. These worlds have history and lore rooted in conflict. And the dungeon is the greatest example of that. These huge monuments aren't just things to be explored. They were once pillars of kingdoms and warfare that can tell you about the lore of the world. And sifting through that wreckage and that history is important to Dungeons and Dragons. It's a part of the game. You're telling me an enemy army took over a fortress and filled it with monsters to protect all the gold that they are preserving? And it's been like that for hundreds of years? And so the magic is twisted and malformed and all that kind of stuff. That stuff is fun for me, And that's not, I guess, more fun than viewing Dungeons and Dragons as a performance. It's just a different type of game. A different kind of game that sometimes I feel like it's getting ignored because it's not as flashy on an actual play screen. That's what I'm saying. So if you take anything from this video, just please do me a favor for the other players in the world like me. Put just as much time and effort into a dungeon as you do your romance arcs. Please, some people would really, really love it. Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm just craving something a little bit more. I want to see kingdoms rise and fall, and I want to explore their ruins. I want to see how ecosystems thrive under a dungeon. I want weird types of monsters. I want to hit something. I'm tired of pretending that's not okay. Listen, I get it. I'm not trying to act like roleplay isn't important to the game. I'm just craving something a little bit more. Which is why I'm here to say, right here, right now, that we need to make dungeons great again. See what I did there?